Thank you, Minister. And Minister, on November the 16th, 2021, the Government published an action plan for survivor and former residents of mother and baby and county homes institutions. I work closely with you, Minister, on progressing this action plan, and I welcome the redress part of it. However, I need to raise immediately the need for an interim payment for those survivors who are older. Time is not on their side. They have suffered enough, so please look at an interim payment for those survivors now. Justice is something that the Commission report denied survivors of this awful regime, and for us to try and mete out some justice, we must respond to the priority needs of those who spend time in these institutions. Just yesterday, I was going over the Children's Committee draft report on the Birth Information and Tracing Bill, and I am a firm believer that this is where we can give complete access to records to those who seek them, but access to records is not enough. I have raised with you as early as the Action Plan publication the need to include everyone, providing approximately 34,000 former residents of the institutions with a financial payment and 19,000 with an enhanced medical card is welcome, but is sadly not enough. I am against the 6-month rule that only children who spent 6 months or more in an institution and did not receive redress for that institution under the Residential Institution Redress Scheme are eligible for payment based on their length of stay, and only mothers who spent 6 months or more are eligible for the medical card component. I think this is unfair, Minister, and I believe does not factor in all the family separation, the hurt and the distress. I am aware that this scheme goes well beyond the recommendations of the final report of the Commission of Investigation, and in terms of estimated beneficiaries, it will be the largest scheme of its type in the history of the state, valued at 800 million. However, I urge you to reconsider the 6-month rule. I also urge you to look at the exclusion of those boarded out. There was a deep sense of shame and stigma for unmarried mothers, and this was perpetuated and enforced by the state, the church, and by wider society. It is clear that the state failed time and time again and for decades to protect some of its most vulnerable citizens. It is time to ask the Church and its orders to contribute, and even, Minister, write to the Vatican and ask for money to fund this redress. We must insist on their involvement here for true redress to happen if the reason for the 6-month rule is that it is too costly. This is why I supported this week the motion calling to seek recourse from religious orders and pharmaceutical companies to contribute to the scheme, including using Oak's report on the findings of the consultation with the survivors of the mother and baby homes and the county homes is a start. I very much welcome that to qualify for this redress in terms of the application process, an application will qualify solely based on proof of residence in one of the homes without a need to bring forward any evidence of abuse or any medical evidence. And Minister, I will say, and I can only say from being on the Children's Committee, and I'm very honoured to be honest, that I work with survivors in Carlow, and I know from myself working with you as the Minister, I feel you have really, I know you've spoke to survivors, I know that you are listening, and I know that you are committed to doing your best, but I do believe that we need change here. And I know for myself working with the survivors group in Carlow, and I know hopefully you'll be down to launch, we're launching a big event shortly for survivors, which is a big thing. And working with the survivors and listening to their stories, all of us have felt, I suppose we've all changed. We're all so honoured to be listening to them and to do what we can to make sure that we make their lives better. And I know for them and their families, and I know, Minister, and I constantly talk to you about this, I do know that is a priority for us, that we're listening, that we have to do what we can. But also, I'm working now with Carlow County Council to get some plaques done on the different buildings and in cemeteries. And I can see from working with the survivors the amount of, I feel that they feel that we're listening, that I know that, we are trying to right a wrong that should never have happened. And I know that that's things that we need to do. But I just do feel that while this is definitely really welcome parts of it, and I know that, that you are committed to doing your best, I would ask you again that we relook at certain aspects of it. And again, the interim payment, Minister, that is vital. survivors I'm talking to, some of them are getting older, and I think this might be, look, it'll never be full closure, but at least I feel it might go some way to helping them, you know, and I think we need to do that for them, and I think that's what we have a duty of care to do for our survivors. So I would ask that you would again look at this, and like as I said, you know, I know that we have, you're talking about the counselling, and you know, we're talking about the redress, but I just think that we need to look at this again, and I would say, you know, you can never put money on the value of a life. And I would say, while this money is really welcome, I would ask you again, Minister, have another look at it, you know, see what we can do, because out there people have been so hurt, and now we can try and make it right as best we can as a government, and I believe we need to do that. Thank you very much.